So is this working? Oh wait. In a second, let me see if this works properly. Always have to look at whether the audio works or not. Working? Yes. I'm gonna just reconnect my headphones just so it doesn't start to. Okay, so welcome everyone to the first round of FWL here at Imola for an intimate local fan session, followed by I think 12 lap sprint race. I may be wrong, no, I can remember, and a 33 lap 50% race, which will be our main race today. We're joined by 17 drivers today, with host Villa currently on an out lap, so we will go on board with them. And yeah, Shu said he will be joining in a bit. And while we wait then for some lap times to get set, let's review the sponsors for today's which supported FWL since the start of season 8. Starting from David Racing, providing a £5 Amazon gift card to the winner of Tier 2 and Tier 3. Then F1, the community side of this league. Make sure to check that out on the social pages as well. Gridfinder supports over 40,000 sim races by helping them find links, commentators and more. And they will be providing an Automobilist F1 print to the winners of all 3 tiers. Superfun Racing created F1 merchandise and collectibles. They will be providing the winner of Tier 1 and 2 with that 2023 F1 season colours of their choice. Then we have High Caliber Apparel, hosted by your fellow driver High Caliber in Tier 3. An US-based clothing brand, established in 2021, has a close relationship with F1 and will provide a custom champions poster for the winners of Tier 1 and 2. Next Level Racing used to be our title sponsor. They will be providing an FGT cockpit to the winner of Tier 1 and 2, as well as a giveaway open to all drivers who complete at least 75% of races across the season for an FGT live cockpit. Pit Stop Prizes are a competition website offering amazing motorsport-inspired prizes, such as signed memorabilia, merchandise, GP tickets and more. They will kindly provide a £10 voucher to P2 of all tiers. Lagara Motorsport, they produce motorsport clothing across a range of collections, and they will kindly be providing one t-shirt of choice to the winners of all 3 tiers. Racetracks Heart, where you can find 700 different layouts of racetracks from all over the world. Finished in materials ranging from hood, carbon and neon LED, and they will kindly be providing a custom trophy to the winners of all 3 tiers. Let me go on board with someone who's still yet to settle up. And we have RCS GFX, our graphics designer for Season 8. 60 Iconic, a company which provides F1 canvas art to display in any room. They will be providing a canvas to the winner of Tier 1 this season. Reaction Time F1 podcast, hosted by your fellow driver Big Homie, who is, as far as I'm seeing, not racing today. And then we'll be providing a $25 Xbox gift card to the winner of Tier 1. Mopush USA, our title sponsor for Season 8, they will be providing a pair of gloves to the winner of each tier, a 60% off code for the P2 and P3 of each tier, and a 50% server-wide discount code. Formula Prints, finally, is a company that produces a wide range of products such as phone cases, posters, mags and more, and they will be providing the winner of Tier 1 and 2 with an F1 phone case of their choice. So, that's your sponsors for Season 8 of FWL F1 Racing League. Now finally getting on with the action, but in qualifying with the commentary, as we currently have, as it stands in the grid. Let me say Justin Sheehan as he setting a lap right now. So we have Bram currently with a 115.216 on pole, then Toastman with a 115.450, Keys in third with a 115.660, Shadow in fourth with a 115.863, Hostfiller 115.953 lines up in fifth. Ahead of that team by Matt Copper in sixth with a 116.042, Damien in seventh with a 116.231, Chaz Mystery in eighth with a 117.411, Sparks in ninth with a 129.022, and Mikael Hextra currently sitting in 10th with a 132.713, already pushed down to 11th by Wickes, who sets the fourth fastest time in this session, 115.740. And as Sheehan comes round the final few corners, he gets up into 9th place behind Damio, ahead of Chasmister with a 116.682. Jack up in second now with a 115.315, a few tenths behind his academy mate Bram. Sparks, I think, set a lap there. Yes, he set a 116.005, comes in 8th. Next we'll have Any Red on lap. As she is currently give me a minute. So yeah, quite some issues here. Give me a minute. Something happened. Okay. So 1 second, let me reconnect the headphones quickly, and I'll get on to commentating. Okay, so Anya currently then in fourth with a 115.522. Let me look at like leader gaps. Yeah, Jack is basically 1/10 behind Bram. The gaps are all close up until P10. They're all within a second. We'll set a lap in this session. No one else apart from Anirud. We still have Shui and Sir on an out lap. Sir starting their flying lap quite soon. And Jack Brand currently on a flying lap. I still on board with Sir for the moment, as he's about to start a new lap. His first lap of this session. 9 minutes remaining, by the way. There's still quite a lot remaining before the sprint starts, and then we'll have a 33 lap race around this historical circuit, the Autodromo Enzo Ferrari. It's not hard, it's not easy switching pronunciations, you know. So Sir then sets up pole sector 1 and proceeds to go into sector 2. He's got quite a lot of traffic behind, which could be an issue coming into the last few minutes of college. So you have to time your going out right. As we have Jack Brand got into 8th place with a 115.741 as Subway Face sector provisional pole sector 2. As he proceeds to go on to sector 3 for his final few corners to then set a proper lap time. He's currently sitting 16th right now. Shui in 17th, also on a lap. Last corner then. So we face spins around the last corner actually, so he'll have another chance likely, but not what you would expect. Actually not what you would expect from yourself. As he tries to still continue, he will not set the good lap, but he will still be ahead of Mika Hexro. He set up 132. He set at 137, so we face 0.815. But he will probably have to improve that one. Bubble sector 2 for Shui. As he goes in sector 3 now. Final few corners. Run the final corner, then crosses the pit entry, opens the eyes wide, crosses the line to set a provisional pole position there. 114.945 for the Red Bull driver ahead of the Williams driver. This will be quite a close fight on track, not gonna lie. Also because it's Imola, it's not as wide as some other circuits, so you definitely have to get a good start here. Otherwise, you're not able to basically get past quicker drivers. But I think we're gonna see some great racing. I hope turn 1's gonna be a mess as always, because usually you see quite a mess at turn 1 in Imola. Actually, the first few corners. So yeah, make sure to let me know what your predictions are looking like for Imola. Sir, it seems like he's going for another lap. He set at 118.675 right now. He's going for another fine lap. Does he have enough fuel for it? That's the question. As he has 60 minutes remaining, so he had plenty of time to go back into the pits and wait for the final run. Well, I guess that's the decision then. We're going to move with them as they try and complete a proper lap, or what I would think would be a proper lap for them. Suddenly at 127, knowing Sir is not a good lap for him. Unless he wants to do a last to first, but I doubt that, knowing it's Imola. It's not impossible, but you'd like to do a last to first at wide tracks, not anti tracks. So he goes up into sector 2 now, setting a 51.3, not purple, but 1 second point 1 up on his previous time. We go round the final 2 corners then. Doesn't spin this time, which is a good sign. Opens the eyes. Crosses the line to set a 117.315. Still puts him 17th. Which is not good for him, knowing that starting at the back at those kinds of tracks, it's not that good. 114.754. Meanwhile, for Jack, who gives Shui a response to his sub 115, as basically him and Shui were the only two ones who managed to go below 114. Can Toastman do the same as he comes round the final 2 corners now? I don't think he's pitting. Or is he? Yes, he is, because he adds the fuel icon on his MFD in his telemetry, but didn't think he was going in. Shadow, is he going in? No, he's not, as he continues on. He starts a new lap now. Didn't say he wasn't on that lap, so yeah. Starts a new flying lap now. He's got 4 minutes remaining. He could perhaps have enough time to then get back into the pits and set another time. But that will mean he'll have to really be quick right now. He goes round sector 1 now. Crosses the line in sector 1, 24.3, 2 tenths faster than his previous time. Round sector 2, this is basically, I think, the hardest corner to get right in sector 2. Not really due to the gear changes, and also Aqua Minerale, not to underestimate that one, but due to the track limits. Because this track is quite known for the track limits, not as ours as Canada, obviously, but yeah. 25,000 improvement in sector 2 as he comes around the final sector now. As we have an Aston Martin currently starting a new lap, Jack Brand, that is. Shadow seems to have aborted the lap there, so we'll go on board with Matt Copper is on a night lap, so we're going with Jack. No, Jack Brand is also on a night lap then. Okay, so basically it's the last few remaining drivers starting their outlaps. Okay, so Matt Copper then up next for what I would think would be his final lap. Could be. As Big Homie joins now, he doesn't have that much time remaining to set a lap. As I'll probably have to invite Toesman. Something to tell me. I don't know if he's joined back. Couldn't tell if he joined back or not. So I'll give him an invite quickly. Sorry for the pose menu there. Toastman. Oh yeah, he's in. Yeah, I couldn't tell whether he joined back or not. But it says he's in the lobby, so yeah, in fact he is. He's going out on an outlap right now. It's back over now, comes around the final few corners. He's gonna meet some traffic ahead, but he crosses the line to set at 1:15.625, goes 51 thousandths faster and gets himself in 6th behind Red ahead of Sparks. But now the real question is who will take the pole position today, as Jack Brand is on another outlap, so he decided to abort his lineup. So let me see who will be our first driver to complete this qualifying session. I think that will be VER Bram, probably. So we'll then follow obviously all the drivers in order on track map as Jack retires in the pits. I think, does he? No, he retires on track, it seems like. I think he retired on track because it doesn't show him in the pits. Or they may just be covered by the Red Bull in the pits. That is Shadow. He's not going out for a new lap. As Bram then Ram sector 3 now as he completed the time in sector 1 and 2, Hosvilla in 11th, Shadow in 12th, and Jazzmister in 16th as it stands. We'll have Zoe Face completing his lap to go to stay last, 117.315, no improvement whatsoever. Bram crosses the line to set a 115.135, goes up into 3rd place. Up next we have Matt Copper, who's invalidated. So up next we have Mika Hextra. Round the final corner he goes. We'll then have behind him Keys. 12 Ferraris, a McLaren and Mercedes. Keys goes 8th fastest, doesn't improve. Wickers up to the 5th place. His teammate in 4th. As Red spins out on the final corner of his final lap. So does Shui actually. Oh my. I wouldn't actually, as he gets now reset the track automatically by going backwards in the pit entry. To be fair, I wouldn't think. Actually, it's 3 drivers now. What is happening? 3 drivers spawn at the same corner. That was quite hilarious. Thinking like, so Red spawn at the final corner. As Mika Hextra gets 5 place grip penalty apparently for ignoring yellow flags. I don't know why. He's getting 5 place grip penalties for illegal blocking. What is going on? That's his AI. Nah, this game is. It must be kidding me. Anyway, I was about to say, Red spawned at the final corner, then Shui did, and then from what I could tell, Damio did as well. Well, I was trying to point out the fact that Mika Hakstra got 10 plays grid penalty. I don't know if we'll restart due to that, because I've never seen that happen. This game, just I get get surprised every time. With this game, there's just some weak glitches. AI, literally, the qualifying was over. His AI gets penalties. Never saw that. So apparently, I think it's all going to still. We're not going to restart, I think. Or are we? Yeah, we're not. We're not. So then, session starts in 5 seconds with the formation lap. We'll go with a 12 lap sprint race. I may be wrong though. Is it 12 laps? The first light of the formation lap goes up. Oh, it's 11 laps. It's 1 lap less than what I would think, but it's there. I almost guessed it. So, for this sprint race, we have Jack starting on pole with softs. Huh. Well, sure he already spins around the formation lap. That's not a good sign for him. I wouldn't really recommend. I mean, it's not that bad of a strategy, but this soft didn't last that much as he already spins around the formation lap like Shu did. It looks like both Jack and Shu are synchronized or something. Brandon in 3rd, Toastman in 4th, Wickers in 5th, Anyred in 6th, then we got Sparks, Matt Copper, Keys, Jack Brand, Hosfiler, Shadow, Mika Hakstra, Damien Sheehan, Jasmine, Zoe Face, Big Homie, and Xylo. So as I was about to say, these softs do not last. The softs didn't last that much because I tried going softs in a sprint race only here, and I found myself not being in a good situation by the end. But if you manage your tires, you can also do it. I'm not saying it's possible. You have a head start for the first few laps, that's for sure. I will not feel good towards the end. I mean, that's if you can. That's if the tires die. If you can manage to have them not die, then it's all good. So we have all the cars form up in the grid. Silo is supposed to retire apparently, as he's not racing today. He's just went into spectator, and the game apparently got him into the car, so he probably messed something up there. It's 1, 2, that's a horrible camera angle. 4, 5 red lights for this sprint race. And it's light 7. Away we go. Jack Brand gets a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. Let's go ahead with the camera angles as Jack gets a great start. Shui already trying to attack him round the inside. He has to stay back though. Bram up next into turn 1 we go. There's a bit of chaos. 3 wide we go, and there's already a contact between a Mercedes and a Williams there. Macopper spins apparently, and there's quite a massive contact there, but all good so far. Big Omi with the McLaren E19. Thamia then in Jasmine getting involved in that as well. Looks like Subway Face got some damage there, missing an end plate. Not good for the Alfa Romeo there, as the AI of Hostler going for a move on Keys. Wonder what's happening to Hostler there with the connection. So far so good, I would say, as we go round Ackerman Rally now for the first time in the sprint race. Jack leads then from Shui, from Bram, from Toastman, and from everyone else behind. Mika, Sparks, Brams, Anyred, Mika Hakstra, Keys, Matt Copper, Shadow, Hosfiler, Sheehan, Subway Face, Silo, Damio, Chesmister, and Mikomi. As Bram is getting closer and closer, Jack sets the provisional fastest lap of this sprint, 120.195. As Jack Brown goes into the pits to serve his drive through, he's gonna quite need the comeback here, even though it's just a sprint. Also, Zoe facing Silo head into the pits, Silo to retire, Zoe face to repair his wing. As Matt Copper goes for the move on Shadow, the Sparks also on Red. We got a yellow flag in the pits, I don't know why. Zanira gets the blaze on Sparks, Shadow gets the blaze on Matt Copper. Actually defends it, because I think Matt Copper was behind Shadow, yeah. Shadow keeps the blaze then on Matt Copper. For the time being, is Matt Copper trying to get ahead of the Red Bull. We got some cheering for Bram in the chat. Not to see it, no. Got some fans already for some of those drivers in Tier 1. Makes sense, I mean, you're driving in Tier 1 in a league. Mika Hackstrad getting closer and closer to Sparks. Meanwhile, Mika Hackstrad looking, I mean, quick in Tier 1, but he's always, you know, getting quite some bad luck with the game, I would say. As seen from what happened earlier, he got 10 places grid penalty for being a spectator and waiting for the session to end. 116.598 meanwhile is the fastest lap set once again by Jack. As Mika Hackstrad now going for the overtake on the Alpina. Sparks goes and gets him even before the corner, so gets up and tries to chase down Anirban, who's 1.7 ahead, forming a train behind as well. Miss Keys is looking for the overtake now on Sparks, the same that Mika did a few corners ago, but cannot get it quite done. As so we face heads into the pits once again to retire. We already got 3 retirements, 2 which we shouldn't have got because they weren't supposed to drive, I think. Might be wrong though. And so we face retire probably because he gave up. But there's still a 50% race which will be with the one which will matter the most. Skis then trying to defend, trying to attack Sparks, at the same time defending from Shadow. And also trying to attack Spark for that 1 point the sprint race gives you when you enter the top 8. So if he retires on in the pits, he's now getting out of the way, ghosting luckily. Ghosting was off, I don't know how many incidents we have each race. As he's getting really close to Sparks right now. Could he try and pull off a move at the next corner? No, he won't. He will stay behind for the moment. He has to act quickly so as not to let Shadow catch up anymore. So he's managing to stay quite close to Jack still. It's quite impressive. Not knowing Jack is in softs. Obviously Shui is a mediums, but right now the softs have still got that pace they need. As Shui is getting also really close to Jack there. It's Jack Brand. Not El Taco Jack, but Jack Brand gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits as Shui with yes gets past Jack, and so does Bram, who's now trying to chase down the Red Bull of Shui. Sparks heads into the pits then. Could he have had contact with Keys there? He wasn't about with him. And I think that's the only reason why you could pit for softs in the sprint. Well, you could pit in general in the sprint. Usually you don't, but if you get damage you are forced to, if you cannot control the car. Couldn't tell whether he got damage or not, but I suppose that. In the close gap right now, forming is Matt Copper against Shadow and Sheehan against Hosula. who's in AI, so will be quite an easy pass depending on how much the percentage the AI is set on. Should be 90, but Bram will now get the chance to get Shui with the IS. Shui, who has 57% of the IS as well, so they're both even on the IS amount, but he's getting closer and closer right now. Will not be enough, as we have a spin from Jazz Mister round the final chicane. I wonder if he lost contact with Jack Brand at that, because he was quite far away, but who knows. Wasn't looking. Shadow, Noir, getting we're going for quite a spin. Carlos Sainz versus Ricardo, this looks like. That's not what you would ask for, that's for sure. As he gets down in P13 now. Leaving the 9th place to Matt Copper. She ended up into 10th now. Quite a good race so far. After having overtaken Jose, and now onto the hunt for Matt Copper. So anyway, he's getting also closer to Wickers, but Wickers also has the support from their own teammate, Toastman. There's just Mr. proceeds to retire in the pits as well. Shadow gets 3 seconds for track limits. Anyway, waiting patiently behind the AlphaTauri. This looks like Hamilton with Tsunoda there, if you remember. The aspect open then, even though he's not got the same car Hamilton did have back then. He gets the move done on the AlphaTauri. He will have quite not an easy way on the outside door, but he gets the move either way. Oh, it's quite a close one. Wickers didn't want to leave the place so easily as Jack spins from P3 there. Jack spins from the podium, leaving the podium to Toastman. That's a massive mistake right there. He's still in the points, but it's not as good. I would tell you the softs would be not the best choice out there, unless they can, but that's if you can manage them properly. As right now, Jack will now have the high temperature from the soft, which will give back up with the chance to catch up to the Mercedes of Jack. So anyway, gets 3 seconds of track limits. Now trying to get into the eyes of Toastman, not to get re-overtaken by Wickers. As we know, the Jazz is really powerful down the main straight. As Brian is getting closer and closer to the stream, meanwhile. Matt Copper now gets Jack as he spins once again around the final corner. That's not the ideal race weekend for Jack, as he proceeds to head into the pits, probably to go for another set of stops, as he's not obliged to pit in the sprint. Yes, he does. Another set of stops for Jack, probably going for the fastest lap, I would assume, even though you don't get a point for it in the sprint. And that's not a good starting place either for the Mercedes. He's meanwhile getting closer and closer here for the 6th place, and hopefully giving some help to his academy mate. Anyway, Sheehan spins from P8, P9. Matt Copper gets 3 seconds of track limits, meanwhile 5 seconds behind Keys. Keys being really close to Mika Extra. Meanwhile, as we are lap 8 out of 11. We haven't even got to the main race, and we already have got 2 actual retirements, but in total 4. 2 from Silent and Big Homie, who weren't supposed to race, I think. And Chaz Mister and Subwayface retired in the pits because they gave up in the sprint. Yes, but open then for Keys. Fact is, it doesn't help that Mika Hakstra does have the eyes on Wickers as well. Jack Brand gets an additional 3 second time penalty for track limits. Doesn't help them, as anyone has a moment there. Gets real overtaken by Wickers with the IS, I suppose. Mika Hakstra waits behind patiently for the move to happen. Anyway, gets quite a bad exit round the first chicane there. As this is allowing Keys to catch up even more. Makes a bit of contact with the rear of Mika Hakstra. And Imran desperately trying to get past Wickers once again, not being able to catch up to Toastman. We see everyone is really close. This gives us a lock up around the last chicane. This is basically the closest battle we've got on track right now, apart from Bram and Shui. Wonder if Bram will be able to get close to Shui, so he'll give us quite a nice battle to know who will start first in the main race. As Anirant getting closer and closer to Wickers once again, trying to go for a move once again. They almost make contact in the process, but Anirant goes once again past the AlphaTauri. So does the Williams, but he gets tapped. They clip tires, he resets the track as well, and they clip tires, the Williams and the Ferrari. Now gets overtaken by Matt Copper, still in the point zone that is. But I already saw that the Ferrari may not have given him quite the space he deserved. However, in that situation, you probably back out to avoid contact. As the 1:16.026 we're talking about, that's the fastest provisional fastest lap time of this sprint, set once again by Jack, who's sitting in 14th right now, starting the race also in 14th. We'll see if that will give him quite the comeback he needs or he wants. Yes, what opened once again from Bram, who's trying to get up to Shui. He's not that close to him. Shui been burning that EIS quite a lot right now. He's 13%. Knowing he was at 57% of EIS makes you wonder how much these guys have been pushing right now to build a 5-second gap from Toastman, almost a 6-second one. But I think it's almost quite easy to say that Shui will take the sprint race win unless something badly should happen. Mika Hackstra getting closer to Wickers meanwhile to try and give us a final lap battle for the 5th place, to start the race in the 5th place here. We'll see if it will look likely around the final 2 corners, but right now Shui will be the driver who will start the main race in first as he crosses the line and wins the sprint race for Tier 1 at Imola. Brown comes into second. He will have to make quite a nice walk there to get that first place at the start. Toastman in third, Henry Red in fourth, Wickers in fifth as he almost spins round the line. Mika Hackstra in fifth then. Henry Red had a penalty, so he gets up in sixth. Keys in seventh, Matt Copper in eighth, Damien in ninth as he had a penalty, Hosile in 10th, Sheehan in 11th, Shadow in 12th, Jack in 13th, Jack Brand in 14th and Sparks in 15th. So here we go then with the results. I think I actually drive of the day from the game's opinion due to the most amount of places gained throughout the race. What's then your results right now for this race? I'm checking if results save. We have got them. We just don't want to put them manually. Hopefully they save. Nope, they have not saved. Wonder why the database behaves like that. At times, the results for the sprint have not saved, so we won't have the statistics for the sprint. But we have got the results on screen, so we'll just have to edit them manually, I guess. As we now going in for this 50% race, 33 lap race around the circuit. That will be quite a race now. It looks like everyone is starting on mediums. We'll see better later on once we get to the formation lap, but right now it looks like there's the situation. Oh great, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Let me see if it gets fixed. No, it doesn't. You see how bad this game is? You see this? Cannot get out. Oh well, I cannot even. I'll have to restart my game. 1 second. I'll try to get in the lobby as soon as I can. Should be back. Let me see if you can see it. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully we'll get back in for the start of the race. I don't want to miss the lights out. If this loads in time, we will. I hope I don't miss that. That is still literally. Oh my god. Well, lesson learned. I hope I was not gonna do that. I did. And there's no way I haven't missed. We haven't missed actually the start. It is what it is. We'll see what went on with the race. Perhaps it just loads fast enough. We get into the race as soon as the lights go out. No, we missed the start, but I guess it's like that. Away we go, quite late from the stream, and as we have Bram currently taking the lead round lap 1. Then Shui, Terrorsman, Wickers, Keys, Anyred, Matt Copper, Shadow, Damio, Sheehan, Subway Phase, Jack, who's got past Sparks, then Chaz Missa, Hostfiller, Jack Brand, Mika Hackstrack, Silo, and Big Homie. Jack Brand gets 3 second time penalty. For track limits, Bram sets the provisional fastest lap of the race. That's a 1:21.734. Sheehan and Silo both pitting round the start, and also Big Homie does, and also Damio. 5 second time penalty for Big Homie as he speeds in the pit lane, and Silo also retires. So both of them had to retire either way, so that's what I forgot to tell you. Jack Brand apparently disconnects. Jack Brand disconnects. We have quite a going off track there from Zoe Face, who gives the place back to Sparks, now fighting with his academy mate Chaz Musser, who has to wait behind for the moment. What has gone on for the Zoe Face there has become around Aquaman Raleigh. It just needs to get ahead, stays ahead of the teammate for the time being. Hostfiller still disconnected in this race, so is Jack Brand. As I don't know if I have him added. I don't know if I can invite him or not. Don't think so. Nope. His Bram sets the provisional fastest lap time of 1:18.807 once again. Anyway, trying to make a move on Wickers as he tries to make a move on Keys as well. And he spins Keys once again. What is going on here? And also now Matt Copper, not Matt Copper, Keys. And who else? What is going on? Matt Copper, Keys and Matt Copper both spawn at the first few corners. Keys now finds himself behind Sir, trying to go round the outside. Can he make it stick? Round the outside, now the inside. He waits behind though for the time. Jack Brand getting 5 second time penalty for spinning for ignoring the yellow flags, being in AI right now. Quite good logic from this game. That's the second time he got spun this race. Firstly by a Ferrari, now by an AlphaTauri. Shadow getting closer and closer to Wickers. It's a 32-lap race, by the way. Matt Coppin are getting ahead of the AI of Jack Brandis. Bram loses the lead on Shui, who gains it. And as a fastest lap, we have Mika Extra with a 1:18.745 as the provisional fastest lap of this race. So we face meanwhile getting the place on Matt Copper, and soon we'll do that on Keys, unless Keys can manage to defend quite well. Otherwise, Matt Copper almost spins it round the first chicane, if you can call it chicane. I think you can. Bram now is closer to the Shui than he was in the sprint race. He could try to make a move once again on the Red Bull, even though he doesn't get that good of an exit, as Dozeman is also catching up on him, even though he's 1.3 behind. Now both on the same EIS amount. Bram with the DRS enabled, trying to gain time on Shui. He's trying to get away from Bram as fast as he can. We have a yellow flag, and that's Subway Face spinning, giving Keys the chance to get that 10th place. And Aniran also gets past meanwhile. Not Aniran. Shadow gets past Wickers. And Mika Hackstra gets past Sparks in the same spot where Shadow did get past Wickers. Damien now getting past Jasmine, so those two having a race on their own, as the rest of the pack is quite a few seconds ahead. moving on to Wickers. Gonna have to fight hard to get that place back on Shadow, even though Shadow could be looking at getting up to where Anirad is right now. So now with a 118.679 provisional fastest lap. Now Anirad sets that 118.604. Still close lap times in terms of gaps. We're still on our 0.6 lap times. That's Anirad then setting it provisionally, obviously. Jack getting closer now to Wickers. He was like a few seconds behind, now he's less than a second behind. He has the eyes on the AlphaTauri. And Shadow here could look at making some tactics. Walk for the Rebel Academy. But will they walk against Jack, who's trying to make a comeback after his few spins in the sprint? Looking to go from P14 or P13 to up to the podium zone, where Bram is currently fighting against Shui like he was in the sprint. Jack now proceeding to go onto the first DRS straight or final DRS straight, depends how you see it. Transmitter gets 3 seconds track limits for 3 seconds time penalty for track limits. That's what opened from the Mercedes. Wickers though is getting more time on Shadow, obviously because he doesn't have DRS, but he still will stay behind, knowing he gets 3 DRS from the academy mate. So Jack is still keeping the gap quite constantly on a 5-10 gap. Bram, Shui managed to pull the gap up to the point that Bram has fallen from that 1 second, less than a second gap. Now he's finding himself above a second, so he will not have the DRS for the next straight, and that's gonna cost him a lot in terms of time to Toastman, who's looking to catch up to the Williams, running in second right now. Anyone who's also running in fourth, trying to catch up to Toastman. So it's quite a cycle here. Shui with the 118.254. Can anyone do any better? No, he cannot. So the provisional fastest lap time is set by Shui for the time being. Zach cannot seem to get any closer to Wickers here. The more they fight, the more Jack is going to catch up eventually, as he looks to gain time round the first 3 corners on Wickers. And so does Jack Brandt, who's an AI, and he's managing to catch on FWL, who's also an AI. So Seventh will have an easy pass here for the 12th place. Wickers knows he has to defend hard not to lose this 6th place and not to eventually get Jack up to the point where he will be able to fight Shadow. He's academy mate, that is. There's Jack getting a better exit than Wickers round the final 2 corners. Now Wickers building EIS. Jack is now really close to him than he was before, but he's still not gaining that much of time he would like to. And he waits behind until the good opportunity comes. As they're both also on the same tire compound, the Service now gains the place on both FWL and Jack Brand, who are both in AI. And Sheehan gains the place and just misses spins. Just misses spins and collides with the barrier. I wonder if he has damage. And so Face now spins as well. Not a good weekend from the Ferrari Academy, apart from Mika Hakstra, who's running in P8 now, so in points. So, Charles Misser does not have damage, it looks like. Let me check if that is true. Yeah, it's true. He doesn't have any damage whatsoever. So I guess that's good for him. Up to Jack against Wick as Jack looks closer. He looks for it but stays behind. Now looking to go for the move on the inside. Will he have enough time to think about it and go for it? No, he won't. He prefers to wait. So it Face now retires on track. He probably had enough with it. Not the best race from the Alfa Romeo driver there. Jack looking closer and closer. Just misses a pit now. Probably, I think. Oh yeah, he retires as well. So same retirement we got in the sprint race. Now in the main race as Jack. Now goes for the move on Wickers. Wickers though will have the eyes on him as he makes contact with the Mercedes driver. Has the eyes on him as well, which looks to be way powerful than it was for Jack. Still too far away to make a move. Now Jack will be on his way to hunt Shadow down for that 5th place and possibly catch his teammate up. Oh, what happened there? Toastman and Shadow both spin at Aquaminerale. Toastman and Shadow both spin at Aquaminerale. That gains Enrad and Jack a free place. And so for Wickers on Toastman and Shadow, who finds himself in 11th now. A moment that I look at the Discord for a moment and something happens. Anyway then, running in 3rd now, Jack in 4th. Now it matters way more for those two to catch the top 2 ahead. Even though Shuis has already pulled a 2.4 second gap on the rest of the pack behind. Wickers. As I was saying, Wickers looking to get closer and closer to Jack, but right now there's no Jazz. The only Jazz zone there is at the main straight. Keys, I think he got the place. Someone got the place on someone else. That was Damio and Jack Brand probably. Now Jack getting the gap down to a 0.7 to 0.7. This could look really helpful for Jack, knowing that the mediums are falling off and the hards are getting faster and faster, which means Shui might be at risk here if he doesn't think quickly. There's Mika Hakstra trying to go for the move on Toastman here. Toastman giving enough space there, but you can see here Toastman is also struggling, and I can tell that the mediums are falling off quite easily, quite rapidly now. Yes, but open for Mika Hakstra now as he goes for the move on Toastman, Mika Hakstra on hard, Toastman on mediums, and Mika Hakstra gets placed in the AlphaTauri ahead of him. That's also why he spun, and Shadow he's on hard, so I think he spun due to lack of traction. But Toastman was on mediums, and usually top guys don't do mistakes. I mean, they can, but not as often. Smart Copper now pits for a set of hards and lives the pits in last place. Stonesman still doesn't want to give up, still is within a second to make a Hakstra, and Keys is 4 tenths behind Sparks right now for a possible overtake on the Alpina. Shui now pits and gets 5 seconds. 5 seconds spinning in the pit lane. That will probably be something massive, because if there's a safety car, I'm telling you, and that will probably ruin possible chances of a win from Shui, as he's looking likely he may win today. But Smart Copper also gets 3 seconds time penalty for track limits. Toastman also comes in, goes for hards. Shui also does go for hards and comes out in P8. Toastman will leave the pits behind Hosfiller. So close to the McLaren machine. That promotes Bram, Red and Jack into the top 3. Wickers in 4th, Mika Hakstra in 5th, then Sparks in 6th, Keys in 7th, Usher in 8th, Shadow in 9th, Damien in 10th, Jack Brandon in 11th, Hosvilla in 12th, Toastman in 13th, Sheehan in 14th, and Mac Hopper in 15th. Keys still close with a gap to Sparks. As Bram now does go in, let's see how much time he will lose compared to Shui and Toastman. As this will give the lead to Red, followed by Jack, Wickers, Mika Hakstra. The 2 rebels are coming right now on the main straight. This could be close between the 2. As Bram leaves the pits right now, and the fight is on, I would say. Bram leaves the pits right now, is 2 seconds behind, so I guess the gap is basically the same. Maybe a few tenths less, but yeah. Now Bram has to wait to get his tires up to temperature, so doesn't have the advantage that Shui has. And Shui now onto looking for a fastest lap. Demi pits, Sheehan pits for a set of hards. This is Jack looking close to Red, who will have to pit soon as well. As Red stays out for one more lap, looking to help Jack with the the IS there. Wickers still staying behind, still has the IS in those 2, and so does Mika Hakstra. So those 4 are forming a DIS train as Shui goes fastest, 117.857 provisionally. And Keels also looking way too close to Sparks, as Wickers has the moon there and spins out of the podium. That gives Mika Hakstra the podium now. Shui passes him as well now. Jack Brandt and Hosfiller pitting now for hards. Those are 2 AIs. Just Mr. saying everyone left. No, everyone's still in. I mean, I think so. Yeah, everyone's still in. So probably was a glitch or something. Zenra now goes into the pits. And we'll get the... We'll join behind Shadow, actually. Yeah, we'll join behind Shadow. Sparks also comes in. So you will join in P8. We'll join the race in P8 on new hards. So we'll help him on the fight against Shadow and others. Still haven't pit. Yeah, the hards are known to be going quite late. But they will have the advantage in the hard runners, that's for sure. Shu now trying to go for the move on Keys. Keys looking not to give them the plays to him easily, and Shu makes a bit of contact with him. Aquaman running now, going onto the outside line here. They go side by side around somewhere we shouldn't be able to go side by side, but that explains to you that if you're clean enough, both the drivers are clean, you can go side by side anywhere, even at the last chicane in Canada, because I experienced that and it worked somehow. The Keys then will have Diaz and Shui, who will run away from the Williams. So Lucas now goes in. He's looking to gain time, waits behind though. He doesn't want to send one. Shadow also pits now, and will pass both of them, both the Shadow Wickers, and get up to 6th place now. Mark Copper looking close to Shadow as he has to warm the tires up. Shadow now having to defend hard if we can on the has Matt Copper. Matt Copper looking desperately to get past, as he knows his tires will get up to temperature quite soon, as he lets him by for the moment, knowing cannot fight, but he still goes for it on the side by side on the inside. Matt Copper waits behind for the moment, knowing he has to get past quickly though, because Shadow will have will warm the tires up once he crosses the line, and he spins. Matt Copper actually spins. Both Keys and Mika Hatcher now go in. Alright, set of mediums. So hard runners now coming in. Keys was on a set of mediums, now coming in for hards. And Matt Copper actually damaged the wing, damaged the end plate there, so that will not be good for them. So Mika Hatcher coming, leaving the pit lane behind the Toastman on a new set of mediums, which will help him against Toastman here. So here the mediums may be a little faster than the hards, but I wonder if they'll be able to make it, as they pit too early for the mediums. Well, we saw people started pitting around 12 laps in with the mediums, so yeah. Right now you need to make like 14 laps or so. Back up a pit for a brand new set of softs. He's gonna go for the 2-stop then. There's no way he's gonna get them to the end unless they can manage them, but still. I have some doubts on whether Matt Copper can actually get those softs to the end now. Unless he's hoping for a safety car, then that makes sense, but Wickers 5/10 behind Keys. He's on a fresh set of mediums. Guess what open for the AlphaTauri. As I told you, the mediums are indeed quite fast when you got fresh sets on. The problem is once they get somewhere, Shadow with the fastest lap then of a 1:17.3. The medium's already coming to life for those 4 medium runners. Shadow trying to go for the weakest, trying to go through the move. He gets quite a bad entry and quite a bad exit, and that lets Shadow catch up a bit on those 2. Sheehan also trying to get past Jack Brand. Not the best race of Sheehan, but had quite a good sprint there. As Jack now goes into the pits. Jack may be able to make it now on those mediums, even though it will be quite on the line. I mean, yeah, it will be like 12 laps on the mediums or so. Jack will join the track behind their teammate, actually. Yeah. We'll be quite close with the AlphaTauri as well. The AlphaTauri coming right now. That was quite close, but Toastman will now have the advantage of warm tyres. Jack doesn't. Jack will have to wait a lap to get them more up to temperature. And Mika actually is looking at that moment to possibly make the move on Toastman right now. Will he? No, he will wait behind for the moment as he gets really close to the AlphaTauri. Mika is also going quite close, getting quite close to Keys right now, but Keys is getting away now with warm hards. Sheehan getting past Jack Brand. Will Mika actually also get past the AlphaTauri ahead? No, he won't for the moment, as coming around is not the best place to go for a move, let's be honest. 1:17.049 for Matt Copper on fresh softs. Jack will now have a challenge to catch up. A total of 21 seconds to Shui in 10 laps on fresh mediums. Knowing the mediums are faster, let's see if we can make that happen. Or at least a P3, at least a podium for them wouldn't be bad, knowing they started the race in P13. Getting up to a podium will be quite the comeback they need. Talking for what they would be thinking right now. As Wickers getting really close to Keys right now, and so is Shadow. Shadow getting close to Wickers now. Shadow wanted to make the move on his academy mate, but he's almost loses it due to pressure. And Keys now loses the place on both Wickers and Shadow. But Keys doesn't want to give the place too easily, as he has to let him by. But will he try another move around the outside of Aquaman Rally? Yes, he will. As Shadow cuts the corner, 3-second time penalty for track limits he gets. That's not going to help him around the end of the race. He has to get away from Keys as soon as possible, because that will ruin his total race. Getting only 1 point from this. At least it's 1 point, but still. Jack sets a 1:16.76. Now you can see he's pushing that much to get up to the podium here. He gets the podium, but now he has to catch the 21-second gap Shui formed as a result of him pitting. The asphalt opened for Keys. He tries to go for the move on Shadow as both of them are fighting. He tries to go on the outside of Wickers at turn 1. Wickers blocks him round the outside. Quite nice teamwork there between Wickers and Shadow, even though they're not in the same team, same academy though. Matt Copper in the 3 seconds then for track limits. Now getting 6 seconds. Then we have Jack Brandon with 3, Shadow with 3, and Shui with 5 seconds. That just want to remind you that Shui does have 5 seconds, so that gap to him gets just reduced to 13 seconds that Jack has to catch up. Even though Shui may get that penalty removed, so it's always best when someone got a penalty to still get ahead of them. So you never know if they could get that removed. So don't you usually think, oh, they have a penalty, so I just can stay there and not push. No, you still have to push, because you never know what they're gonna do with it, if they're gonna manage to get them removed. and then you get back to where you originally was. That's tactics, I guess, as Mika Hakstra now gets ahead of Toastman for that 5th place. And so does Skis and Wickers. Skis re-overtakes Wickers now, as the regions are getting quite somewhere for Wickers. Told you pitting too early wouldn't have benefited them as they would have thought. Skis now trying to get the move on Shadow as well, as he's catching up on him. He's still about 1 second. He needs to get below a second to get the eyes on him. But right now, the gap is about a second. Shui now, meanwhile, is basically chilling in 1st place, enjoying this 32 lap race with no safety car whatsoever for now, so quite impressed by that. Even though we had no DNF yet, I mean in terms of damage we haven't got any DNF, but it's quite good to see, not gonna lie. At least for once, having quite a nice race. Commentate through. Skis has got the eyes in Shadow and now trying to get up to the point he can overtake him, I guess. Sheehan with a 3-second now time penalty for track limits. And now gets past the AI of Hosula, Sheehan. The top 3 is all on the same EIS amount, and you can tell they've all been burning EIS to get away from each other. Oh, as Jack almost loses it on the last corner. You don't want to do that when you're in P3 from starting P13 as Wickers has a moment. Around the final chicane, he hits a barrier. He doesn't have damage from it, luckily for him, as Damien now pushes him back to P11. No points for him whatsoever for now, unless he manages to get up to P10 once again. He will have to fight 10 lap all the hards against 7 lap all mediums. Can he do it? That's the question. He wants to get a point in this race. Yes, he can, as he gets alongside Damien now. And we have another spin from the Haas and Matt Copper. He's not moving apparently. Wickers gets the place. Oh, he's now moving. As we have... Yeah, he's moving just barely. Probably letting lapped cars pass. And he spins once again. I wonder what they're thinking right now, but not the best race for the Ferrari Academy whatsoever. They only got Mika Hakstra running P5, but they got 3 cars. Actually, no, 3 cars out of 6. Actually, out of 5. 3 cars out of the 5 as Maccover goes for another spin round the final 2 corners. The Rivata corners. So yeah, 3. They could have 3 cars out of 5. Matt Copper just gets another 5-second time penalty for spinning in the pit lane. Is he retiring? Is he not retiring? We'll see. Mika Hakstra, meanwhile, doing some work here to get up to P4. He's still in P5, but he's 4 tenths behind P4, and he could get some nice well points here for his academy, who's not having the best days. The best day today. Matt Copper goes for a new set of softs, hoping to go for the last lap here. He will also be quite quick now, but there's only 5 laps remaining, so... Oh, as anyway, almost has a moment there, like Leclerc. And Mika Hakstra gets collected by it. Does not get damage. Sparked with the 3 seconds for track limits. Doesn't get damage due to it, but definitely slowed him down to the point Toastman managed to get up to 1.9 in the gap between Toastman and Mika Hackstrat. That's what it is now. As Mika, even with the ice right now, is too far away to make a possible move on any red. But now he's a bit closer. He's looking for a spot on the inside, but has to switch to the outside. And they go up to Aquaman Rally now. Mika looking for the move. Not even knows he has to keep his eyes to defend, as Mika has got none left. Look at how close he gets that exit round the final chicane. He burns the last few bits of the ice he's got. Round Rivazza 1 and Rivazza 2. That's what opened. Not able to get the move done quite right so far. Fish in the chat saying True will not get his penalty removed due to spitting. And then referring to the spin from Red as he make an extra now. Goes a bit too wide there on exit of Aquaman Rally. Gets 3 seconds of track limit, which won't help him at all. Even if he gets past Red, he has to gain 3 seconds in him to confirm that before. That's not what he would have liked, as Toastman is also within 3 seconds of him, and so is Sparks. Actually, wait. Sparks is barely within 3 seconds. Because now also gets 3 seconds of track limits. It's Jack all now pushing too much, getting 3 seconds as well. Track limits. You can tell he's pushing. But right now there won't be any safety car whatsoever. So Jack has to pray for something to happen. I mean, I'm trying to think what drivers would think there in their car. So if you think on it, Jack may be looking to win, but it's not looking likely for the time being. He's attacking. He's not within a second right now. Still behind Shadow. But who is attacking right now is Mika Hakstra on Animate once again, even though he has 3 seconds, but he did still without want to go for the move. No ice whatsoever to burn. That helps Animate run away with a bit more ice. He's getting closer and closer to Shadow. Now within a second to him. So he can use DIS if he gets close enough. And now the mediums should start having that moment of getting somewhere. Actually now starts the final lap of this Grand Prix. Well, Mika Hakkinen is really close to Enred. Shui does start the final lap. No EIS at all. Look at how much Shui's been pushing this car. No EIS for Shui at all. 0% is showed before he approached turn 1. That can show you, even if you may be the best driver, but when you got drivers behind catching up, when you know they're catching up, you tend to basically give it your best. As Mika Hakkinen still has that problem having no EIS, and Enred does, and will probably keep that P4 if he makes no mistake for this final lap. Actually, despite not qualifying first, despite having to fight for the first place in both the sprint and the main race, still gained both the sprint race win, and now comes round the final corner, around the DIS activation zone to cross the line and win the Imola Grand Prix, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix I should say, for Tier 1 Round 8 of FWL. It's quite a nice race. Bram then comes into second, Jack in third, Enred in fourth, ahead of Mika Hakkinen, who didn't manage to get him at the end. Due to the penalty, gets dropped to P5, to P6, as Sparks is all winged at the line. Shadow with the 9th place, as Skis gets him with 8th. Due to the penalty Shadow had. So Mika Hakkinen in 6th, Sparks in 7th, Skis in 8th, Shadow in 9th. Damien will end the race in 10th, and Wickers in 11th, Sheehan in 12th, Hosviller in 13th, and Jack Bren in 14th. Matt Copper, at the end of the day, retired in the pits. He got actually 5 retirements from this race. 2 which shouldn't count because they weren't supposed to drive, and 3 which count because they gave up. That's the podium celebration. Congrats to Shui for once again winning T1 race in FWL Season 8. Then we have Bram in second and Jack in third after quite a comeback, not gonna lie, from P13 to P3. After having quite some bad luck in the sprint race, he still managed to get that P3 on his hands. Race results have been saved, but the sprint hasn't. That's your that's the end then of this Grand Prix for Tier 1. We haven't done yet with Imola, by the way, because we'll have 2 more races tomorrow at 6 PM GMT for Tier 3 and tomorrow at 8 PM GMT for Tier 2. So make sure to tune in the stream to find out who will also get the pole, sprint race win, and main race win for Tier 3 and Tier 2. The battle for the championship goes on, and I'm able right now to tell you, even though it will not be perfect, but right now I'm able to tell you just in general. Oh wait, hold on. I'm able to tell you the standings. So they may not be perfect, just saying, but without the sprint results, Bram still leads. I'm telling you the top three only. Shu is second, and Callum in the Toastman in third, without the sprint results, that is. And then we have Williams leading, Mercedes in second, and AlphaTauri in third. In the constructors, that's without the sprint results because they haven't saved, so we'll have to add them manually. So that's basically, sort of an idea of how they will look, but it may change due to post-race penalties and sprint results being added as well. So thank you then for right now. I think there is still plenty of fighting to be done for next round. But I think we may get close to the point of saying that Bram, if he manages to still do quite nice performances, he could actually win the title. Just needs to get, I think, there's another sprint. No, there's not. So he probably has to do. This was the penultimate. No, wasn't the penultimate race. We have Melbourne, and then then Monza. So Bram, if I'm not wrong, has to at least be basically scoring more than Shui, basically getting ahead of Shui. I think. Yeah, it depends on how much he scores, though. We'll see in any case. I think we'll make some calculations for it. But for now, that is it for Tier 1. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all tomorrow at 6 PM for Tier 3 and then at 8 PM for Tier 2. That times are UK time. But yeah, as I was saying, Bram, I think, as long as he scores like 5 points at least in one race, more than Shui, 5-10 points more than Shui at least in one race, I think he could be winning the title for Tier 1. Because Shui, without the sprint results, is at 99 points. Adding 8 points would mean he has 807 points. That puts him, without adding Bram's sprint points either. So yeah, we'll have to see. But I think Bram is that close. Shui can still win it. Bram hasn't still won it mathematically, since there's still a gap between Shui and Bram, but he's close. So we'll see then next round for Tier 1 and then tomorrow for Tier 2 and Tier 3. Bye for now.